Is that the way the cool kids wear their headsets?
Yeah.
Oh, word. I'd go.
I don't know if you could handle this level of cool, Jimmy.
This is Jimmy's podcast, season 10 on the podcast. We coming back for more. I bet you never thought we'd last, and neither did we. Breaking news, show reviews, rubber boots, reacts, and other social media crap. Anything else, you know you're gonna have a laugh. You're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah, 'cause this is the podcast.
Do you want me to start? Have we started?
We're on.
Oh, okay.
We're rolling,
This is
brother.
episode 6.
I have concerning news.
Uh-oh.
Little background. I went to Kingston this weekend for
Jamaica?
Nana, Kingston, Ontario.
Wow.
My Nana is not Jamaican. My Nana is from near Kingston. And no, that would not be my Nana. That's my mom. We call her Nana.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
you saw your Nana? How old's your Nana?
I was about to say, your mom's 90.
My mom turned 90. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because she had me at 58. Like but so my mom turned 90, and she turned 90 a couple weeks ago. But we had this was the whole get together with all the family and all the grandkids and everybody.
Nice.
Dinner out at a restaurant in Kingston and to fet my mom, who is doing unbelievably well. Like she's.
All her faculties?
All her faculties. Kicks ass at Wordle every single day.
Nice.
Has memory,
Awesome, yes.
memory like this. But the one thing I would notice, besides a wonderful night with the family, she's shrinking at a rapid rate.
Seriously?
Yeah, I
That's
noticed.
a real thing?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
And again, this is the first time I really noticed it. And I'm not sure why. But maybe just because I stood up to give her a hug or something when I arrived. And I'm like, oh my God, she's like 4'5" or something like that.
She's
now.
not that. Like, how
It feels
tall?
like it.
Like, how many inches would you say she's dropped in height?
Well, you
Got to
never,
guess.
I don't really know how tall my mom was. I don't think she was a tall woman, but I was never very perceptive on things like this because my dad was not a super tall guy. I think he was like 5'9", and so I'm going to guess my mom was 5'2", 5'3".
Okay.
I think she's 4'8", 4'9", or something.
Seriously,
like that.
like
Well,
Well,
that much?
Gracie
That's a
is, I
lot.
think, 5'1", 5'2". My kids are all fairly short.
yeah.
You know,
What about Jared? How tall's Jared?
Jared's 5'11", I think.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
good height.
And
Because
Respectable.
Brooksy's small.
yeah, but I think so. And I was asked, so my mom's sitting on one side of me. Dr. Michael, who's my sister's husband, is sitting on the other side of me. So I've started asking him questions like, how do you shrink?
Yeah.
Is it just the vertebrae getting closer together? And he says, no, the vertebrae like gets skinnier. Basically, you lose your bone density. So the vertebrae just shrink and you shrink.
Oh,
Right.
Well, that happens to you in space as well, I believe. When astronauts come back, they're shorter, and it takes them a little time to.
Do
Really?
they grow it back?
Yes, they do because it's it's something that happens. in
Only
space.
the spine, though, right?
Yes.
Nothing else for them to worry about?
Planning a trip.
How long would that
Well,
take to come back?
SpaceX program's going to not have very many people going up there.
That's right. So if we colonized another planet, we'd all be shorter up there? Perhaps.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't.
what the aliens
not
are
equipped to
relying
answer
on.
that, but that is a. I'd say so. I'm going to say yes.
I'm not equipped to answer that, but yes.
I'm going to say yes.
As a middle-aged man, late into my late 30s,
Middle-aged man.
this was concerning me. I was thinking about it a lot on the long, boring as hell. By the way, the drive from Kingston to Toronto might be the boringest drive in the world. I guess the prairies are probably pretty boring. but-
Yeah.
Oh,
I
prairies
guess
are
You have to do that way every time you're going to
Yeah,
Welly.
it's
boring.
The Big Apple's a highlight, let's just say.
Yes.
That's
Hey
really
guys,
it.
there's a Big Apple.
I know. And you get excited because you know you're getting there.
Yeah,
right?
but once you turn off on County Road, then it just...
Yeah. How far past the Big Apple is your turnoff? Like half an hour?
We're, about a half hour.
Yeah, Kingston's like another big chunk,
Wooler
right?
Road.
Wooler Road.
Yeah, Kingston's probably another 45 minutes.
I did the county one time when like the 401 was closed in the summer, and I did the county back
Yeah.
way almost all the way. Well, 100K
Yeah.
or something like that on the 401. Very pretty.
Very nice drive.
So anyway, I'm thinking about this as I get back. Yesterday, we're taping this on Tuesday. Yesterday, I had my big annual thing at MedCan. I've talked about this
yeah.
before.
Oh,
Remember
yes,
the doctor
indeed.
last year who probed a
Yeah.
little
Yes,
too
of
long?
course.
Yes.
Of course.
On the prostate?
Did you make sure you saw them again?
Is he still around? Is he? Could you book an extra 50?
You only need to be here in
Extra
another 6 months. No. I think I should go now.
I liked how thorough he was.
Yes.
And another tub, please, of Vass.
A vast.
So This time, by the way, my doctor, you get a different doctor every time at the MedCan, which is probably not ideal, but they have great doctors on hand.
Yeah.
But they're all different in the way they do things. And, some of them are very thorough and they really go into every detail on everything. And this guy was like, he was the equivalent of, that meme of the security guard frisking people going into the stadium where he just doesn't do anything?
Yeah.
That was kind of like this doc.
Well, that's not what you want when you're getting this kind of
but he
program.
was great. Like, he basically, you had a blood test in the morning and you get an ultrasound and you get a hearing test and stuff. And I guess my tests were all pretty good.
Nice.
And so he's just like, calcium good, cholesterol level awesome, good. And I'm like, what? He's like, good. You're all good. You're all good. He made me feel great.
Yeah, which is
I walked out of there feeling like I was, on top
you're
of the world.
You're going to live for another 40.
Yeah, but I think he probably had something to get to.
Yeah.
My hearing's going a little
Maybe
bit.
he's going golfing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hearing's a little my only concern. Brooksy, one night we're lying in bed a few months ago, and Brooksy says, "Do you have do you hear like tone in your ear?" And I'm like,
Tinnitus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I did left.
It's
left
a musician thing, right?
Yeah.
And would I get it because of the broadcaster thing, because of our earpiece in my ear?
Yeah.
So I literally never noticed it. And so she goes, "You have that?" And I start listening. I'm like, "Shh, crap, I do." And now I can't get it out of my head. Every time I lie down in bed, it's like it's like
people
tone.
who have it severe, like it can drive you literally crazy.
They can.
Great. Good to know.
No, like
Trade deadline.
It can be a very serious
2026.
thing. It won't stop.
It won't stop.
Anyway, to the point. I go in for my blood test, and then they say we got to take your height and weight.
Okay. So this is official. This is like a combine.
This is the combine.
It's a little bit of a combine. Combine for like out of shape middle-aged men. So
I actually beg to differ. I saw you stand up after TradeCentre. You look good, brother.
Yeah, I'm
You
a
did
little
look
ripped.
good.
I just don't like to talk about it.
You look good.
Why was he topless?
I made a point when we were doing our costume changes on Bad for Bedard of changing in front of everyone.
Does this shirt fit okay, guys?
So anyway, you stand on this thing and there's a bar, and she says you got to push the bar down on your head so I can get what your height is, right? And as I've always told you guys, I'm a 5'10" man.
Yes.
Right? Now, some people have argued with that when they see me because I have short legs and a long torso and a big head.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know that I look 5'10"
project
in appearance.
smaller.
I project smaller. I think that's correct.
That's a great way to say it.
But my extend ahead gets me to 5'10". Until she goes 5'9", and I'm like, whoa, what? She goes 5'9". I'm like, I want back on. She goes, no, I don't have time for that. I got to get the next person. And I'm like, no, I need a remeasurement. I can't.
5'9".
Just the day after I was with my mom shrinking, am I down to 5'9"? Is it happening already?
Wow.
Could be.
Or was it a bad measure?
I think it was a bad measure.
I think it was a bad measure because she hastily, I didn't really understand. She's like, push the bar down. I'm like, what do you mean push the bar down? Aren't you just going to look? Because she was a tiny woman herself. So I guess, I needed to push something down and then it stays or whatever. And she came up with 5'9". And now I believe that I'm shrinking.
You are shrinking.
That I've had the first drop and that by, season 12 of the podcast, I will be a 5'2" man. Is that a possibility? If I go in an inch, because I was there last year and I was 5'10".
Yeah.
So if I'm 5'9" now, if I'm losing an inch a year,
No, you're not going to lose an inch a year.
I'm going to be like Hervé Villachez by 2031.
Could open up a whole new door for you, buddy.
Yeah, you got a good run.
Yeah. 5'9", though.
We had a good run, he says.
I could run at 5'10".
Yeah.
It's good for a while. What are you guys? What are you? 6?
I'm 5'10" and a half.
What are you?
5'10"
You're 6.
and a half, yeah.
So, you're a hulking man, eh?
You're
What are
6 feet?
You're
5'11.4.
You're 6, Puff?
With the hair, yeah.
With the hair?
Yeah. And your
it
hair's not
says-
even big right now.
It says right
Oh,
here.
with
it
my
could
hair, I'm
start-
6 feet.
Yeah. It could start as early as 40. You can lose about a half an inch every
God.
year.
Oh, my God.
Half an inch every
10
year
So
starting at 40.
Starting around age 40, people can lose
67,
about
you're
up to
3
half an
inches
inch,
tall.
a half an inch every 10 years. Okay. Over the course of your lifetime, this could mean up to 2 inches of height loss for a woman and an inch and a half for a man. So.
I think my mom's going faster than that. I think she's losing an inch
Going
a
for
year.
the record.
But is it causing it? Like, is she kind of hunched over now?
No, she's good with
she
that.
Still
No
looks, she
osteoporosis.
just looks straight.
She looks upright.
She just is shrinking.
I mean, I think there's probably a little bit of hunch. Everybody gets that in senior sort of years.
but it's not like.
But it's not bad. Like, I didn't notice that. I just noticed how tiny she really looked. It was startling to me. Wow. Right.
But 90, things start happening. at 90, you know.
Exactly.
Things
90,
started
you're
happening
in the
75.
Wheel of Fortune bonus
Exactly.
round now. You've already
It's
won the game,
fantastic.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Also, things not to say to someone who's 90.
I know.
Wheel of Fortune bonus round.
No, it's true though. I wonder when we get there if we're still doing the pod then.
Oh, we will be.
Season 412. That would be amazing. By the
I would
way.
hope by then we've gone golfing at least once.
No chat.
Guys, I got some bad news. Chewy Louie passed away. our ratings dropped 49%.
Hey, Chewy Louie would have had a good run then.
All we got left is Snake Bite's Peach. He's the only one. Arsenal left us a few years ago. He's in the home.
He still owns the pod, though.
Sure support.
Made millions off it somehow.
Sean Morrison, he grew tired of us back in the 2030s. Couldn't keep up anymore.
We'll get to more of those guys, I'm sure, in listener mail. But Sean Morrison did comment on you on your 90th birthday for your mother. He said it was nice that you drove her up to her birthday, unlike that one time where you put her on a Greyhound. So our listeners still do remember that.
Well,
I don't remember that.
That's an interesting point you make because, full disclosure, as we do on this pod,
Oh, God.
so everybody stayed over in Kingston. Like my sister lives there, one of my sisters, and everybody stayed over hotel or whatever. And then there was a little breakfast the next morning at my sister's house.
Nice.
And then we were all dispersing. And Nana had to go back to the cottage. And my sis is like, can you drive Nana back to the cottage? And I'm like, it's like an hour and a half out of the way, sis. Like the rest of you are going to Ottawa. And she goes, well, I said like half hour of our way. What? You know, I got a little longer drive. I love her, but you are the firstborn. She's like, damn you. So I did pass off Nana on my sister. So maybe I'm not as good of a person
You didn't
as
have
Sean
room in
Morrison
your new
thinks,
Ford Escalade.
It's an Aviator. Okay?
Aviator, buddy. Not all trades are bad trades, Lester.
McAlpine Ford, minutes north of the 407.
That's
I got to
funny.
figure out some new stuff to do for McAlpine Ford. What the hell was that?
I think I just got an email.
Look at that.
Wow, seems like you're busy.
Is this a new segment?
In all the time we've done a podcast, the first time you've
never
got
gotten an
email.
email.
Well, no, I've usually muted it. I'm not sure why it's not muted.
Yeah,
now.
sure you have.
You guys want to know what's coming up
Yeah.
on Overdrive?
Yeah, let's
Yes, I do.
Let's hear what the email
Tom
says.
Fitzgerald at 4:30.
Nice.
5:05, we're going to play a little confirm or deny, a very popular segment. Sam Mitchell at 5:30. Mike
Good
Johnson at 6:10. And
guess.
6:30, Steve Phillips.
Ooh, I like Phillips.
So if you want to hear any of those, just go to Tuesday's show on the podcast. And, you can listen to
Promoting
Overdrive.
stuff. Yeah. What were we talking about? Just my shrinking.
Yeah, just
My shrinkage.
your shrinkage.
My shrinkage.
Good shrinkage, though.
Good shrinkage. No shrinkage anywhere else.
No.
No.
That's actually makes everything look bigger.
Apparently. That's right. Maybe I'll be
See? There's a
completely,
positive. You'll just
completely
be all
whacked
cock.
out of proportion. just
If you could only accelerate yourself shrinking.
Wow.
ears continue to grow throughout your life.
Really? That's
Really?
true. You do
I
notice a
heard that.
lot of older people with huge ears.
Huge.
Giant ears. I'm not sure about your nose. It feels like people have big noses, but I don't know if that's the case. So maybe people, if anybody wants to write in and tell us what grows as you continue in life and what shrinks, I'd be curious to know.
Hair grows after you're dead.
Hair continues to grow after your death?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, because then everybody, all the corpses would be all hairy.
Oh, yeah, hair
sometimes
grows.
they-
I'm not wrong about that.
No, you're
That's-
not wrong. That's 100% true.
That's 100%
What?
true.
Well, not forever.
Well, all right, we're gonna have to Google this.
Searched up.
How? What does that make any sense?
It's crazy.
Doesn't the hair need like the blood flow and stuff?
You know what's the worst?
Yeah, of
people
course.
that are bald that die and they have a full head of hair all of a sudden. I'm just kidding.
Is it worth it, Stoff?
Yeah, I should.
Just for your corpse photos on Bumble?
Died in 2017.
Those would be some sketchy swiping.
You got it there, Stoff?
I've never been one to really be sad about myself losing hair. So I always felt like I was a good person for that to happen.
You know
to.
what? You
got a good scalp.
You
You
got
got a
a
good
right.
scalp.
You
You
got a
look good.
good bald head.
Yes.
That's part of it too. Oh man, people who lose their hair and it doesn't look good, like bald. That's a
I don't think I would look good bald because I've got the long face.
Yeah.
Maybe
Your
you have
hair
a
is
thin
good,
too, Puffy.
too.
I'm not sure if you would look good. You would look good.
well that
Yeah.
chia pet's.
I mean, you're a good-looking
forever.
man. I'm just, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
I
don't know if I could pull.
I
it.
think
Like bald.
round-headed people look better bald.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right?
Yes.
Don't
And
you
I got
think?
a lot of bumps.
You
in my
can
head.
get away with it.
Well, I shaved in my early 20s. I shaved my head. So,
Yeah.
so
I used to shave
know
my
I'd
head,
look
too.
good. Yeah.
It's not racist to say that black men look better bald, is it?
It's not. I don't suppose it was racist, but I mean, I imagine that culturally,
I've never
like your
seen a
Michael
black man
Jordan-
look bad.
It's offensive
bald.
towards me.
Not a thing.
You're a white ball friend.
I just don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a black man who didn't look good
Balding,
bald.
bad.
Yeah, and look,
Montel.
I would probably agree with that.
Montel Jordan,
Montel Williams.
Montel Williams.
But I think Michael Jordan again when
Mike
he
looks
shaved
good.
his head, that
Yeah.
shaved
That
head,
right,
and
he looked
goatee look,
amazing.
Him, Charles
good.
Barkley.
Yeah,
I think
good.
it set a standard, right? And that's why I did. I had a full head of hair at the time.
I tell you,
But
if
I
I
shaved
did
my
go
head.
bald, I would shave my head. Like
you?
the whole,
like should Tiger Woods shave his head?
leave it on the
Yes.
side. Yes,
Yes, he
100%
should.
Yeah.
I actually, I must say, with the amount of money he has, I cannot believe that he either hasn't gone and got some subtle hair replacement
Yeah.
or just shaving it off. I think it looks terrible.
Yeah,
to be honest
he's
with you.
sort of in that, but he always has the hat on, I guess, so he
Right.
doesn't really care probably that much.
I just think you got to once
should shave it.
once you're losing it, you got to shave it.
Yeah.
you just look better.
There's a lot of high profile guys. Like I was seeing something on David Beckham. Apparently, he's had some hair replacement.
Oh, I'm sure because his hair is like such a part of his personality.
Yeah. So, but it looks amazing. Looks great. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's a piece. I think he's actually just.
Who
had
was
some
the
seeds planted
NHL
or-
player in the day who started it and then didn't bother to do it? So he had the line right across the front of his head.
Not Alfredi.
I'm afraid that
Yeah,
he was
he
one of
might have
them.
He had the
Yeah.
skullet.
I don't want to incriminate
Yeah.
somebody. I think it was one of the Browns.
It was Rob Brown.
Rob Brown.
I think it was Rob Brown. You're right
Yeah.
about that. He
Yeah.
started the plugs and he never.
Yeah, you got if you
gotta
start,
go,
you
you
got to
gotta go.
commit. But maybe people start and they're too painful or something
Apparently,
like that.
it's very painful. They say, and I think Turkey's the spot to go. There's a-
Oh, really?
Yeah, Turkey's like really well known for the male.
By the way, when we were shooting Bad for Bedard, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. The hairdresser, he does. He did Lisa's hair when she was the anchor, and does Omar's hair, and so he does the hair for the anchors.
Yeah.
And but I never use them. I just look at my damn hair. I just put in my own little product or whatever. But I wanted my hair to be big for the video, so I went to see him because he'd helped us out during "Don't Take My Goal Away."
Okay.
And he put some like a powder. I've only ever used like molding paste or whatever and gel. But he put like a powder in my hair, and he said it made it all thick and high, and it held it. A powder.
Really?
It was the weirdest thing ever. But I got to find out the name of this product.
Cocaine.
Or if anybody, cocaine hair.
That'll make your
For
hair
the people
high.
who brought you Cocaine Bear. It's cocaine hair.
That would sell. To follow up on this hair after death, it's also said that fingernails and
Yes.
hair would grow after death.
That's true.
However, common misconception apparently, what happens is your skin and everything shrinks after you die, so it pushes the hair and the nails out, but it stops eventually.
So it's
So
only
it's not
the ones,
actually growing, it's
the
an
ones that
illusion.
were under the skin basically comes out.
More or less, yes.
I see. Yeah, nails thing. No wonder corpses are so gross.
That's right.
That whole thing's disgusting.
That's why he's got to get cremation.
Yes, I agree.
Just take.
I'm doing that. You?
yeah.
I don't have a will, but I'm just saying it. Let this be
This
the
be my-
record.
This will be our
Stand on
legal
it, like,
thing.
legal
I'd
Yes.
like to be cremated.
We'll all be
Should
cremated
something
together.
unfortunate happen
Yeah.
to me.
What if
Like
nobody?
that.
What if nobody buys it? If we show up at your funeral and they're like, "There's Lester in the casket," and we're like, "Whoa, no, guys, we got to burn him."
And we start playing the podcast.
Yeah, we have evidence right here.
And then we're like, fast
Season
forward it,
12,
fast
episode
forward it.
6.
No, it was after this part.
Right there.
Hold on. I'm really funny here. Let's just listen to this part.
You're holding it up to the speaker in the funeral. Puffy's like, "Does your cock keep growing on your shoulder?" Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. Just a minute.
I told
Just
you.
2 more minutes
It's
forward.
really good. This is a really good chat.
Yeah,
Lester would want us to listen.
Anyway, it was trade deadline last week on the show. It was a disaster. I mean, it was a disaster. The trade deadline was a disaster. The show went fine. You know,
I actually think it was our best show in a little while.
I thought that show was great,
Man,
man.
that was really
like
good.
I really did. It was entertaining.
the show is what it is. I've always said to I think I probably said this on the air. We all know that most of the trades are done. We're not sitting there really expecting. I think there was a time where we probably did try to hype it up.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. All the big deals happening on TradeCentre. I think our audience is smart enough. They figured it out maybe several years ago.
Come on.
But look, at the last decade, it's kind of been like this. This was the worst, I think, ever.
Yes, 100%.
But even last year when there was 33 trades, Puff, remember at the end of the day, we're like, how was that 33 trades? There was nothing of relevance. There's all these 15 minor league deals that sneak in under the wire.
Although, what a call by me. Dryden asked me the night before. Over-under for trades on trade deadline day.
Yeah.
I said 18 and a half. 19 trades. And everyone would have hammered the under.
Including Mystic
so much
Mike.
Money.
Everyone did hammer the under.
But then Mystic Mike was complaining that these aren't real trades.
Well, we were at 6 trades at I think 2:30 or something. Yeah. And then at 3 o'clock we might have been at 7. And then all of a sudden they creep in for the next 45 minutes and suddenly you're at 19 with the minor league deals.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. I think it's the way we take it, I think, at TSN is it's the only day of the year, maybe Free Agent Frenzy is a little bit like this, where you get all our commentators in the studio and can say, okay, all this crap's happened over the last couple of months, so let's reset.
Yeah.
And let's talk about who's got what and who did what and who's got the best chances and everything else that's going on in the league. And
just a hockey thing for hockey fans.
It's great, man. Yes. Listen, I think that the silver lining is all these trades happened. You had all these moves to talk about, and it's like this year more than any other time. As far as I'm concerned, it's been a huge arms race,
right?
Like for teams to load up and stack up.
The problem will ever be if we have a year where the trade deadline day is like it was on Friday, and there was none of the big deals before.
Yeah, then you're
done. You're right, because we had so much to talk about.
Yeah,
but the league will have changed by then. I guess that will mean teams aren't really going for it anymore, right?
Right. I think it's all cyclical and depends on the year and how many free agents there are and what's going on. There's always going to be deals around the deadline because there's always going to be free agents.
Well, you can always turn a team around rather quickly in hockey too, and I think that's what helps. Like teams aren't too scared to sell someone off when they're rebuilding.
I think it's a good sign going forward. I hope that we get years like this every year where whether it happens on the deadline or not, if there's tons of movement, that's good for the league and good for interest and good for fans. But the thing that always intrigues me is there's like a little bit of an anger out there where people are like, why are you guys doing this 9-hour show? It's ridiculous, right? And I'm like, well, I mean, I kind of agree. I've said that same thing to my bosses, but I've long since accepted it. But I should be the one who cares, or maybe why do you care?
That's the thing. Like literally, if you're not going to have to watch, it doesn't matter.
It would just be like, my wife's saying, hey, there's a 9-hour edition of The Bachelor on tomorrow. Yeah. And would I be going, this is ridiculous?
Yeah, you just be like, I'm not okay. But there's going to be Bachelor
I'll
fanatics.
watch 7 of the 9 hours, but not all 9. Anything to get my Jesse. But that just always amuses me. I guess I like it that people care, but it is
sort of funny where people...
You guys should only be doing 10 a.m. to 2.
Now, in fairness, that might have been my burner account.
Yeah, that should be.
You should let your employees go home early.
So what else happened? Well, I guess we put the bad for Bedard that we talked about. Everybody got the sneak preview here last week.
Pod,
yes.
I don't know how many people tuned in or actually listened to the pod before the thing aired that night, Thursday night, right?
Quite a bit, I'd say.
Like
there was quite a few tweets once the thing aired was like, oh, I already heard this on Rubber Boots.
Right.
Nice.
Probably more impactful with the video.
Yeah, absolutely.
than just hearing our song.
But it's fair to say that this song has been well received.
Received, yes. I guess they played it at the Regina Pats game on Friday night when he had...
He scored 4 goals and an assist.
He
is ridiculous.
It's insane.
It is. Between him and McDavid at the NHL, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah,
Find a league for those two.
Well, that's the funny thing about that song. As much as we were, just being a silly, cheesy parody, is what we were going for. There is elements of truth in that song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like there are teams. It's funny though that certain teams like Chicago beat Ottawa 5-0 last night, and San Jose won. So no matter what general managers do, they cannot control how their players play, and they bring up guys from the minors, and these guys all want to make an impression.
Of course,
that's hungry. What happened with Chicago last night. All these hungry guys just skated circles around Ottawa,
and Stalock played well.
Yeah, for sure. So
Also, I want O-Dog as a general manager. I think he'd be good for the league.
You know what? I'll tell you, Stoff put up a video today with behind the scenes, and it was great to see that and relive it because O-Dog, and he said this to me when he came out of the boardroom. He said, "You know what? He was really nervous. He wanted to do when somebody's nervous like that, they really care, you know. And he just wanted to nail it. And
he did.
He did. He was fantastic.
he was.
He's a performer in that way, though. Like he does kind of have that.
No, but
something in him,
that
though.
look on his face with the popcorn when he's like eating the popcorn, he's got man.
Well, as I was privileged to be one of the GMs whose bald head they showed from behind,
Yes.
like I got a front row seat for it, and like there was some of the most hilarious stuff. was just
so
him
you
showing
made
us the
2
jersey.
cameos. I forgot about that
Yeah.
part. You were in that, and then did our listeners notice you at the end shot because we teased it, did we not?
We did tease it.
Did
One
anybody
of our
write in?
listeners said that he went looking for me. I also did put it in the cover of our episode. It's
Yes.
four,
okay.
it's
Yes.
4 shots of me.
Okay, but if you want to,
So-
if you want to check the video out again, I guess YouTube's probably the easiest way.
Right
to
near
find
the
it.
end.
Right near the end, there is a Stoff. Well, we won't tell them, but you can find Stoff. We'll make like a little Where's Waldo. You can find Stoff. I forgot the back of your head was also in there
Yeah.
when you were celebrating when
When I was one of the assistant GMs.
yes.
right.
I was fully in character.
But to your point, I've been doing this a long time now, and we've had great analysts, but I don't think I've ever had anybody like who can do something like that.
Yeah.
Right? That can just play a character and play it so well. And even when he did the draft lottery sequence of the show,
Yeah, he was great.
he was hilarious. And I was trying not to laugh the entire time when I was hosting.
He was doing a good job of taking it serious while being a jackass.
Yes, that's what he's amazing at that.
From the time you walked in with the briefcase, it's like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I just loved how the briefcase was this thick, and then the cards were like this.
Yeah. I'll share a text that O sent me earlier today because we have a Leafs game tonight. He said, Jim, back to business tonight. Hardcore analysis, except he said care. Enough of this circus. Carney stuff.
Hard care.
No, he was great. And Lester, I've said it to you so many times, but the time that you put in on that song to get it right and to make my mediocre vocals sound actually decent, that was the other part that I kind of laughed at, is that people were saying. There were people saying, wow, that Duthie can really sing. And I was going, man,
Lindsay
not
Hamilton's mom
necessarily.
thinks you can sing.
You did a fantastic job
Thank
on the
you very
whole
much.
thing.
And listen,
appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm once again, I'm happy to and honored and privileged to collaborate with you.
Yeah.
And this is 20 years in for us doing stuff. People don't realize
What was the
that.
first song that we did together?
I want to say it was the Coach's Farm.
I think it might have been the Trap.
The Trap.
He's on a quest without a map
to find the man who built the trap.
I don't know which one was first.
That might have been. That was pretty.
I feel the Coach's Farm was first.
I
though.
think
I
you
might
remember
be
the rest of the
wrong,
lyrics.
I
right?
really do. I don't remember the rest of it.
trap in a dinghy to find a way to fix hockey.
Come a long way. There was one last week. You were mentioning the more recent ones. You didn't mention it was that rap one that was during a TradeCentre. It was kind of like the Beastie Boys one.
Right. That wasn't Lester, though. It was.
Right.
That was. What's the guy's name?
Out for a rip,
Kingston?
that guy.
The Out for a Rip guy from
Yeah.
Kingston. And I'm now.
Because a couple of our listeners brought that up as well.
Be Rich.
Be Rich. That's who it is. That's
Be
his
Rich.
name. Be
I
Rich.
thought Tessa and Jen and Lindsay did a fantastic job.
Oh, yes, they did. They were amazing.
Was it their vocals?
No. It wasn't their vocals, but
By the way, there were other people going, someone said, well, Duthie can sing. And the guy said, that's not his vocals. It's dubbed over. I'm like, damn you, it is me.
is.
Just auto-tuned a little bit.
yes, not that much. Not that much.
A
out to
little,
it,
to full tune.
But again, I mean,
the boy band treatment.
they came in and took it seriously, and I was at the shoot for that, and just some of the stuff that they improvised ended up being in the video, and it looks great. So
Good times. I applaud our bosses because they just let us do what we want, which is a lot of fun. The other thing I wanted to mention was Bruce Boudreau, who I said this on the show. We needed him so badly on a day like that when there was nothing going on. His stories, I could have sat and listened to him talk about when he filmed Slapshot and hung out with Paul Newman all day. And
I did not know it was his apartment.
Yeah, amazing, right?
Wow.
And they showed the little map of everywhere he'd been. He talked about a couple of those minor league stories and fighting some guy. If you knocked his toque off, you had to fight him in Quebec. And, and the little bits. He's another one. If you have a chance, listeners, go on to. I guess it would probably be either that you'd have to go onto my Twitter feed and go back a little bit. Not that I tweet very often. And the bit he did yelling the takeoff of the HBO thing on the Capitals, I thought was great.
Really well
But
done.
also the opening of the show is my little personal favorite, where we just did the silly takeoff on Bruce. There it is, where he's walking around the building trying to find his way to the studio, and it's not necessarily the gag of what we did, but just his little faces and stuff that he makes. I just thought were hilarious. I thought it was Oscar worthy.
And whose brainchild were those? Was that you as well?
The HBO thing was Mike Lane, our producer.
Okay.
The opening. Mike said let's do something with Bruce. There it is, and they bought the rights to the song and stuff. But I just didn't want us all singing "Whoop, Bruce." There it is, right? So we came.
We had the rights.
Yeah.
No, what you did was much better.
Yeah, I thought we'd do something where I thought it was funnier if none of us knew what the hell he was talking about. So everybody kept saying, Bruce, there it is, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he thought we were playing a gag on him, but we weren't really. But he's just, man, that dude's a natural on television.
Yeah.
Great.
And so it was a lot of fun having him. We won't waste any more time.
I got it. Well, I wanted to say I got a chance to talk to him at the end of the day, and I thanked him for coming in and everything. But years ago, when I think he was with Washington at the time, he had said that when he starts to get negative feelings in his mind, he just taps his forehead to say, "Get your negative feelings out of your head." And I thought that was amazing. And for a long time I was doing it. And I said to him, I just wanted to thank you for that because I find it very effective. And he goes, "Well, stop working."
Honest.
In typical Bruce fashion, right? So,
yeah, no, he's about as genuine though. Those people that you meet that are exactly the same as they are,
Yeah.
that you'd expect them to be, and that's pretty much him.
Yeah, right away talking to him, you felt like you could just bust his balls.
And even when we were taping the bit where he was swearing at all of us, he was uncomfortable. Like the first take he came in, he didn't swear.
yeah, frickin' or something.
No, he didn't even say
I
effing.
thought
He
that
just
was-
didn't say, "Come on, guys, we got to get going in here." And we had to stop and go, "Bruce, just let loose."
give it to us.
Right. And that keeping a straight face while he was carving the crap out of all of us was one of the harder things I've ever had to do, guys. Yeah. Anyway.
You don't even have a chair. Hilarious.
Matt Cade was feeding him some of the lines. Like he didn't know. Like I think Pounder, you're nominated. She got nominated for the Canada Screen Award. It's like you let that nomination go to your head. He wouldn't know that. But the Gino without a chair one, he had lived and
Did he
and
really?
Yeah,
That made me laugh.
you don't even have a chair.
Anyway, we have fun.
That's fantastic.
We have
man.
fun. What else you got for us today? How about the things I saw on Reddit or whatever? Because
Things
apparently,
I saw. Well, yeah, maybe.
it's essentially right. That's where you spend your time.
Yeah, you're on the dark web.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Mostly still getting these stuff from Twitter, but it's become more difficult. I don't know if you guys tried going on Twitter yesterday morning, for example, while I was putting this thing together.
What happened? I heard people talking about it after the fact, but I didn't notice.
So in his attempt to fix Twitter, Elon Musk got rid of a bunch of coding, which then basically gave everyone an error message when they tried to go on Twitter. Then for the longest time, none of the links would work. So if someone posted either a picture or a link to something else, absolutely nothing would work. Twitter put out something saying like it'll be fixed soon. It was this error or blah, blah, blah. But it just seems to be that the layoffs they've had over there and all that stuff, it's really, there's a new disaster every single week.
Well, if you lay off 75% of your staff, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
Right?
You're probably not ready for what to fill the gaps that those people did, and even more so, like some of those people might even be sabotaging this thing on the way out.
100%.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Why wouldn't you?
And how can you do that? You don't even know what these guys do. You don't know the business.
Yeah.
You don't know the tech. How can you hire those people? But
It is what
Man.
it is.
I find him concerning, but anyway.
oh, big time. I said that.
How much
listen,
would it
I
sell
said that
for
in his
now?
pod 2 years ago.
If he was to turn around and say right
Yeah,
now it's for
like
sale,
what-
less than the 44 billion he paid. That's for sure.
Probably half.
Yeah, if
But somebody could still think they could bring it back. To what it was.
And there will also be a surge of, I guess, popularity initially to see if they are doing better.
I would like to see it just go away, and like to see that he lost it all.
That's the interesting thing, because we've never really seen this happen to a major social media platform. I think the closest might be like MySpace.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's still around technically. It's just no one uses it.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
But you hear a lot of the young generation doesn't use Twitter at all, right?
No. That's one of the things that's
why I just didn't understand the 44 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like this could just go away tomorrow, and then you have nothing.
But it's also you have new things being created. I think that's part of it. It's just if he completely torpedoes this thing, he'll be interesting to watch.
One thing, like for our song, I'm not good at all the technical stuff whatsoever. And Mad Kate edited the song, and they have to put it out to the different social media sites. So the one advantage on Twitter on something like that is you can embed it in a tweet, I guess, and the full length of the video can go out.
If you go directly as a link to YouTube, yes.
No, it wasn't even a link to YouTube, I don't think.
The TSN account probably, because there's certain accounts where they'll let you
have a pro
up to
account,
10 minutes, whereas every other account it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
So somebody from social sent me a thing the other day about a breakdown of the views. And it was like the Twitter thing was 650,000. So 650,000 watched that thing on Twitter.
Right, on Twitter, yeah.
And YouTube was like, I don't know, 60,000 or something like that. And 269,000 on Instagram. This is as of like Friday or something like that. And then only like 4,000 on TikTok.
Wow.
Because the TikTok, though, you had to reformat it and shorten it or whatever. And then I noticed some other clown had posted the whole thing on TikTok, or like just
and got more hits.
It had like 200,000 views. So
hire that clown.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Apparently we have to do that. But just so I guess there's still advantages to Twitter, but people of Puffy's generation.
Well, it depends who's on. It's also who's on there, how many followers you have. Like that's instant access for people who are following TSN, which is it's a lot of people, right? So
right. But people on TikTok are not probably going to sit through. They're not going to sit through.
TikTokers, we don't do that.
You're not sitting through a 3.5 minute video.
It's also TikTok is mostly shorter content, and a lot of it isn't original content. It's some bozo reacting to something that happened. Like,
whoa! Wait with the bozo.
Definitely bozo.
But
I'll be honest with you. Anything I watch on TikTok, I'm like, this would be way better if I could just watch the original thing without this guy making faces or commenting. Yeah. That never adds anything for me.
Yeah.
Very rarely do those people actually add something to the content. There are some good ones.
They're just trying to take good videos and get views off of them.
That's the only thing they're doing.
Right.
Sorry, go on.
I had really nothing else to say. Except that I watch TikTok videos like full length ones because the ones, some people put in like part 1, part 2, part 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I find myself watching all those. So why wouldn't TikTok make it easier and be able to put on a 5-minute one if you wanted to,
Good
right?
point.
Yeah, I guess something to do with
but sometimes
bandwidth and
it
stuff. But
sucks you in.
Speaking of TikTok,
Yes.
there's in the States especially, there's concern about TikTok because it's not, it's foreign owned, I guess.
Yes.
So there's security issues, a big movement to get it removed. However, while on Twitter, I came across this tweet from Scott Nover, who said, the people who want to ban TikTok would think differently if they followed my favorite account, which is called @uncloggingdrains.
So interestingly enough, I just came across this.
So did I.
I
Is
came
it the
across
guy
that-
with the pot, like
Yes.
the huge thing, and he raked?
Yeah,
raked?
it was
was
fascinating.
Was it when you guys
so
clicked
calming.
on my lineup and watched
No.
the video?
Actually, it was yesterday.
No, it was same with me yesterday.
Yeah.
I just came across
Same
it.
line.
And it was soothing as
Sorry,
Yes, it was.
You guys came across this on TikTok?
Yeah,
Just on your own.
on TikTok.
Okay, yeah,
Your
yeah.
own fluid.
So it must have been
Gotcha.
trending or
Yeah.
whatever yesterday.
So
And
this
the guy
thing-
was just shaking the rake, right? And
So
then all of a
we'll
sudden-
obviously show this on the YouTube version, but it's basically there's a massive flooding area in a park or something,
Yeah.
and there's a drain underneath, and you see him with the stick trying to find it, and finally he unclogs it, and you see it all draining away.
It felt so good.
And that is a thing online. There's
It was
even-
arousing.
It was. Honestly, I felt a little bit like aroused.
Wow.
Even on Reddit, they have a thing called like unexpectedly satisfying or something, like stuff that just kind of resolves itself like that. So people look for that online. This account I looked at, it had 1.6 million followers.
The unclogging drain dude.
Unclogging drains. And by the way, I'll just point out, this isn't a guy who goes around unclogging drains. This is somebody who just takes different people's unclogging drains videos and puts them all in one place.
Amazing.
Wow.
It is genius. And there's a couple other people who've tried it below him. They have nowhere near the same numbers.
Did you look at the video, any other unclogging drain videos? Did you spend
That
the
he
time?
had?
Yes, that he had on his account.
Just like in the little
I'm
preview
gonna
section.
I'm gonna have to go
I
and
gotta
do that.
Because I actually thought about getting a rake
Go down the
and
rabbit
walking
hole.
around the city and just starting to unclog stuff and see.
And then
if
you
it
can
would-
send them videos of yourself.
No, just for my own personal satisfaction.
Satisfaction, yeah. So one of those
I'm
things. Like,
selfish. I'm selfish with my satisfaction.
so you would enjoy like watching someone put together a Rubik's cube?
No, I don't find that common.
No?
That's just that's annoying.
Well,
It
like-
has something more about the nature. I think.
I wonder if it's just the general the relief of not being clogged. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I hate to say it, mentally, physically,
Right.
spiritually.
But it's funny. I had it was like watching it.
I'm,
It was
I'm not. You're looking at me like I'm making a joke. I'm not
No,
making a joke.
let's
I'm actually
unclog.
Lester's
being
been
very
watching unclogging videos for the past 10 minutes.
serious. I'm watching it now. I'm watching it now.
Totally
I'm
at
like,
peace with the world.
No, that's fascinating that
That's so good.
you saw. Actually, you know what? I think I saw the tweet and click from the tweet onto the thing. That's what I saw. No, I didn't come across it on
1.6 million,
TikTok.
yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
So that guy, wow, we put all that effort into Bad for Bedard, and this guy just rakes a drain and gets
No,
as
he
many
gets someone
views as
else
we
to
do.
rake a drain and he does that.
No doubt.
Okay.
The Grizzly Truth premiered Monday on TSN. James watched it, so you can now give us a synopsis of what it was.
I watched about 10 minutes of it, and it's not
I
that
watched the beginning as
turned it
well.
off. It was just
I PVR'd it, actually plan on watching
I
it. but-
couldn't remember really how the Steve Francis story had ended. We all remember how it started,
Yes.
but I couldn't really remember. Like, did he play there for a couple of years
got traded.
before
Yeah.
he even played there? Right?
Yeah.
They moved him.
He came across certainly sympathetic
Oh, he did.
in the part that I saw. He's a 50-year-old man
Yeah,
now
yeah,
or
yeah.
something, and he just came across as a guy that he was explaining why he felt that way. That he was a complete mama's boy. He didn't know where Vancouver was, and it made him a little more relatable, not completely forgivable. And he didn't really look like he was asking for forgiveness.
No,
he was just saying,
this is
"Here,
what happened."
This is what happened. This is why I felt that way."
Yeah, they messed up drafting him. Like that
Well,
was the
there
fault.
was
Why
also
would you-
back then there was a big stigma in the NBA with going to Canada, and that lasted for a very long time.
It's
to some
still
degrees,
to
it
some
still
degree. Yeah,
exists.
there was
but,
a player the
for
other
sure.
day that just was making a
so
comment.
it wasn't really
Gilbert Arenas.
that surprising. I guess, yeah.
I think he was wearing a Grizzlies jersey in the interview, which was interesting. So I'm guessing that there's some sort of he wants a team back in Vancouver or something as part of this documentary, is what I'm guessing.
That is what the that is a strong push within the documentary that they want to try to bring the team back. Hey, well, listen, you think about those days and you go, it's too bad because there was an opportunity there for sure. But I still don't think that Vancouver would support an NBA team. That's my honest feeling.
I don't think that's the case. I think Vancouver's an incredibly multicultural city.
Yeah.
And there's a massive Indian population. They love basketball. There's a massive Asian population. They love basketball. I think it would do really. I think it would
think
do
so,
really
too.
well.
There's-
Corporately, look, it's not Vancouver's not Toronto, but there's a lot of markets in the States that Vancouver's.
I mean, Vancouver
Vancouver would match
Charlotte.
corporately, 100%.
Yeah, it's kind of like why the.
By the way,
Northeast
this
left
is not
Quebec,
a Toronto
right?
guy. Like I've always said I'm half BC guy. I don't mean Vancouver's not Toronto. I just mean obviously there's not as many corporations in Vancouver as there are in Toronto. But I think they would do the bombs.
Yeah, I wish they
on
had.
an
I
NBA
wish
team.
they had a team.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I guess,
Now, any team, any former franchises you guys would like to see brought back?
You sent that note, and that is the biggest no-brainer in the history of. This is the biggest no-brainer
Hold on,
question
I'm
ever.
interested. Then.
Oh, no
Who are you gonna
brainer.
say?
are we talking?
Come on,
Let's
guys.
attack him after he
Quebec
says it.
Nordiques?
My entire youth,
Your entire youth.
Oh boy.
ladies and gentlemen, leading off the left fielder, Tim Raines.
The Expos, yeah.
His Expo de Montreal. Come on.
You know what? That's a good one. But I actually Quebec Nordiques is the
Nordiques,
team
yeah,
I first
yeah,
thought of.
Nordiques,
I
too.
would love to see the Nordiques back.
Even the Whalers.
That would be cool.
Whalers would be
jerseys.
great.
The
Yeah.
whale would be amazing.
Pierre LeBrun would be thrilled.
ESPN would be that would be amazing for ESPN if
I
the
know.
Whalers
A
came.
team
yeah.
right there.
Oh my God. Years ago, I was at a hockey banquet. Actually, it was a Canadian Hall of Fame awards banquet, and Dennis Hull was doing his thing. And he says, "Yeah, back in the day, the Quebec Nordiques," and he says, sees Marcelo Boot. He goes, "Marcelo, there used to be a team there, eh?"
Cold.
Boom!
That is cold.
Savage.
Yeah, I think Quebec would do well now. I think they'd be able to handle it.
Oh, listen, they've got this. They've got the stadium there.
The players would love it.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, the battle of Quebec, man. Look, man, this is a team. These are two franchises that on Good Friday in 1984 one that had the most savage bench clearing brawls ever of all time in the NHL. 1984, Good Friday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I think it would be. You're 100%. It would be
But
awesome.
Expos would be great too. I
Expos
think the
would be
Expos
good.
are
Expos
going to
would be
come
great,
back.
too.
I think they will. It's just going to take a while.
I think it might be the 2030s.
Yeah.
You know who should buy them? Our
James
parent
Duthie.
company. Our parent company.
James.
Led by
Would you
by
make me GM?
James Duthie Consortium.
Assistant to the GM. Assistant to the traveling
Yeah,
secretary.
you don't want too much to do.
I'd be
Yeah,
the
it's
Ryan Reynolds of the Expos.
You were the Ryan Reynolds of the Expos.
It'd be-
And you call the games too. Oh,
you shouldn't. What? Wait a second.
yeah, I just saw
is that
our
Bump?
our GM.
I think O-Dog just walked by outside.
did he?
Yes, he did.
I don't think we can get him. He doesn't want to play any of our
Yeah,
foolery
it's no
today.
gate. No.
It's only hardcore sports.
What else you got? Because we're running low on the old time
okay,
already.
so we'll skip ahead to this. From Reddit, I came across a post that said, "Who is a bad guy in history who actually wasn't a bad guy?" So there was some interesting stuff in
the
here.
fascinating Reddit has more like some
The
interesting
discussional things are, yeah.
Yes.
Reddit, yeah, there's a lot of
A
stupid
bad
crap,
guy
and then
whose
you can find your
history
stuff.
who's not really a bad guy.
Right. So one guy, and I believe you talked about this in an earlier season, was after you saw the
Jeffrey
documentary.
Dahmer.
No.
Oh, that's not right.
No, that's not good guys gone bad. Richard Jewell,
Yes.
who was from the Atlanta Olympic bombing.
Yes.
So initially he was called a hero. Then they basically condemned him, said that he was. They were suspecting he was behind it. They, in turn, almost ruined his life, and he turned out to be innocent.
Did they ever find out who did that?
I don't think they did.
I don't think they
But
did.
that film, there was a film called Richard Jewell a few years ago,
Yeah.
which I think sort of took that. So I'm not sure, is he remembered as a bad guy now, or is he
Kind of.
already
Well,
been
no, I
cleared?
think this is like until it was shown that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just remember him being associated with it. But
That's
yeah.
what a horrible story. Like, they basically ruined the dude's life.
Yeah.
Of course.
And he died.
And
right?
apparently, and this is, I'd have to double check, but that same website that falsely first reported him also started falsely reporting stuff on the Boston marathon bombings.
Really?
Oh, boy.
Interesting.
So they're not good at bomb intel.
No.
No, I can't. It's a,
Not
that's
your
a
bomb
very,
intel elsewhere.
It's hard. It's a hard question. It's very thought provoking though.
Well, I'm
Who's
trying to
that-
think. I'm trying to think of.
You know, one of the guys that comes to mind for me is like Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman had this terrible reputation. You can understand
Well,
a little
he
bit.
earned some
Yeah.
of it for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know,
He
he's
dated
him being.
Carmen Electra.
You know,
Well, that was. Yeah.
Charles Barkley. There's another guy
Yeah.
that was at one time was
Yeah, he
vilified.
was throwing people through windows.
so we want to think of someone that's but Charles Barkley's.
But
he's
We're
generally
more so.
beloved,
This is more
right?
sports stuff where it's just like
You're talking about the world.
There's a villain in the sports.
We're
yeah,
talking
this is
about
more
the
in
world.
the world.
I'm just trying to. I'm
would
having
say-
trouble thinking of
So
someone.
I have another one here. This one's really interesting. Lydia Fairchild. She was accused of kidnapping her children. They were taken away because due to a DNA test.
Oh,
And
yes.
It turned out she had, I don't know if it's pronounced chimerism or chimerism, but her uterus had different DNA from the rest of her body because when she was in the womb, she absorbed her twin. So the twins, basically the twins' DNA is the only DNA she can pass along.
Yeah.
So it's not her DNA.
Yeah.
She was obviously vilified, made out to be a monster. But in the comments, the one funny thing I saw was like, well, I guess the twin got the last laugh.
Wow.
Yeah, true.
I think this question would be more valid probably in 10 years, and we won't remember all of the things because the news timeline is so short these days. But there are so many things that happen. Have you guys watched the documentary, the Netflix, about the hitchhiker guy who saves a woman from being murdered by a guy with an axe?
No.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
I saw a
and at the
preview
end,
for that.
So I'm just going to do a spoiler. So stop right now if you haven't seen it yet.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
But in the end, he kills some guy. So basically, he's like a hippie type California hitchhiker, and the local news comes out and does a story. A man saved a woman today who he was in a car. He picked up the car. He said the guy was high. The guy crashes the car. Guy gets out with a hatchet, tries to kill someone with an axe. This guy picked up an axe and hit the guy.
He
And
defended a woman basically that this guy was attacking.
So
yeah.
now he's your local news hero.
And it went viral. That
News
clip.
story goes viral everywhere because his interview is really kind of like he
was a character. He was a real character. Yeah.
So what happens is, he goes on. I think he goes on Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. Goes all over the place.
Yeah.
So he's writes some songs. Some of his songs get out there.
Oh man.
And anyway, the end of the movie, he kills some guy, and now he's in prison. for
Really?
murder. And it's just, again, I think it's a statement on today's world that we will either vilify people right away or we will label them as heroes right away when we don't really know the full story.
But as you can tell, these stories go back years and decades.
Of course.
And so I'll tell you what the real problem is. We're so reactionary at first that the wrong news gets out there. And you know how clickbaity things are. And so people will just see a link. They won't read the whole story. And they'll remember that one thing is fact.
Correct.
When that fact later gets redacted or a documentary comes out or whatever, it's not the same percentage of people seeing the original thing.
No, definitely.
So that lie will still live forever for a bunch of people. And then it's like you go on a Reddit post like this and you find a whole bunch of stuff. I was thinking, oh, wow, this is completely different.
The horse is out of the stable.
For me, the most jarring one here was the McDonald's coffee lady.
Okay.
Right.
The lady who spilled every single person thinks that she's a money-hungry, greedy person.
She was ripped all over. She sued McDonald's because she spilled coffee on herself and it was hot. Right.
So the true story behind it is this. Up to that point already, McDonald's had been sued numerous times by people because they were making their coffee too hot. They were literally purposely doing it so that they could get more coffee for less beans. I don't know exactly how that works, but it was a money-saving measure. They lost in court to countless other people and still never changed it. When this lady spilled coffee on herself, the burns were so bad it fused her thighs together, basically.
What?
She was in hospital for 8 days. She needed years of rehab, 3rd-degree burns all over her pelvic area. So she's a real victim of this. And meanwhile, everyone in society kind of looks at her as someone, they didn't even want to pay her medical bills. She had tons of them, obviously.
Oh, wow.
It's just awful. And also McDonald's kind of has always participated in this thing. Like they were just ripped off by somebody. Like even on Seinfeld, that was the coffee burning thing. It became a massive joke for someone. All this person wanted to do is just have her medical bills paid. So
But
shows you.
But again, like that is where our world is 20-fold now, right? It's
Even worse.
A video comes out and we make instant judgment, and that's the end.
And then there's always another side that's right away saying it's false, and it's harder to find your truth.
It's the value of good journalism that still exists when somebody does the follow up later, like does a longer story or a documentary about it when you actually find out what the hell's going on.
But will everyone see it? That's
no,
the problem.
and this is one of the reasons I hated being a news reporter back in the day. This is not a new problem, Stoff. Like when someone gets, let's say, here's an incident that happened with. At my school when I was a kid, and my mom knew the teacher was accused of sexual assaulting a student.
Oh boy! And
was suspended from his job and labeled, everything.
Yeah, of course.
And later, the kid a year later in court retracted. Ooh. And I'd had this teacher, and I was a good guy, and I just knew it wasn't true. And here was a troubled person who was looking for attention. And was upset with the teacher for something and made an accusation like that. And that happens all the time. When, I'm not saying, look, a lot of the time it's true, but the news of an accusation is always gets 100 times more impact than the 2 lines a year later that says that it's been, the person's been cleared, right? Anyway.
I have one.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes. Also.
The very beginning.
What is wrong with you?
He was crucified. Everyone thought he was a bad guy.
All right.
And then it turned out in the long run.
He's okay.
He's okay.
I thought you were going to say that he's actually a bad guy.
No. He was bad. Everyone. If you had knew the day after he got crucified, you'd be like, bad dude. Now, I think it turned out okay.
Probably depended whose side you were on back then.
Everyone wasn't on Jesus' side at the time.
Well, since we've gone down, I was going to just move on to the next thing, but since we've gone down this road, I will mention Tom from Tom and Jerry.
The cat?
Yes.
The cat?
Yeah, apparently there's a theory that they are actually working together. As long as Jerry keeps running around, the humans think they have a mouse problem, so they keep the cat. As long as Tom keeps showing he's making an effort, they think he's doing a good job. They both are in on it and are just doing it to keep up appearances.
Wow. Yes, I think that's true.
Makes total sense.
Classic.
Also, on something you guys were talking about with the hitchhiker, if you save someone's life, should you be able to kill someone at a later date?
Yes.
So it's even?
Moving on.
Like you should be able to get away with murder.
It's a hypothetical.
Or say, okay, not murder, but say it's like you kill someone while you're driving a car.
Sure.
You shouldn't go to jail because you've already saved one, right? 1 for 1.
Wow. I
Aiming for pedestrians.
No,
What do you?
because then it would encourage people also to save lives.
Hey,
Yeah, especially serial killers.
we're
I've saved 13 lives.
we're way low on
Watch out.
we're way low on time. But I saw another hypothetical that you guys might have come across on Twitter. Remember we were talking about that being alone in a room, but you can have whatever food you want. And we were talking about how long
Aaron
you'd stay in
Rodgers?
there. Not alone in a room. You'd have a house by yourself.
Yeah.
But no contact with anybody.
Yeah.
But you could watch TV,
be
listen
comfortable,
to
have
music.
TV,
yeah.
entertainment.
I've already done it. Sorry.
How I live.
It was a wonderful weekend.
There was one the other day that was posted, which was much more real. It was just basically a padded room.
Okay.
Like an insane asylum padded
Yes.
room.
I think I sent that in
and
the notes last week.
it said
thought I saw.
1 year, $30 billion. But
$30 billion.
30 billion 1 year.
Done.
But no, besides getting fed,
No contact.
no human contact,
No phone.
no computer.
Just you
I
in a
would
room.
be
nothing.
literally skipping around the room singing $30 billion, and I just plan out the whole year.
Is
what
there
I'm
a
gonna
way
do with
for
the
you to
money.
track-
It would be amazing.
Can you track time in any
I
way?
don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think you have
'Cause
any.
that's
I
the
think
toughest
I
part.
think you
That's
go
the part.
crazy.
I'd be certainly crazy, but I'd be
remember-
$30 billion.
I remember that tweet because one of the comments underneath was a couple months in, you're no longer going to be the only person in there, and that's going to be lit. Like once you lose your mind,
You really?
That's a time.
Would
Oh,
you really
100%.
do it?
Yeah, $30 billion?
You would leave your family and go into this padded room.
I think
for-
Tanya would send me there.
for a year.
No. Who I think
I'm
I don't
sure if
think
you'd live.
it's not a will.
I
No,
live
it's,
for sure. They're feeding me.
Yeah,
I'd
you'd live, but
I'd
how do
come
you-
out jacked?
when you come out, what kind of person are you when you come out?
Yeah.
$30 billion person with a lot of
Well,
attitude
you know what?
problems.
You might need friends, I suppose.
Could
I
he?
don't know.
Could he be any worse?
Ah, exactly. I'd be probably better.
You know what? Honestly, I think you would lose your faculties. I do. Yeah. You need to have that stimulation.
Hold
right?
on, I have a toilet and everything, right? I'm not living in my feces.
Well, I mean, you have to have stuff
that
like
would get
that.
dark after about 4 months.
The live thief from Puffy's would be something.
Oh, Puff.
Look at if you,
I think I know how
if
he'd
you
pass
saw
his time.
Willow right now, that's basically how I'm living.
Oh God.
Now, there's a new movie or document. No, it's got to be a TV show. And it's a guy's in prison for 10 years for like committing like robbery or something like that.
Okay.
And then they say you can get out of prison, but you have to go into like with the serial killers and get a guy to confess to more murders. And if you do, you'll get
Yeah, it's
out.
like a prison snitch, basically. They put you in the
And
same
it's
cell.
like a true story.
No, it's the story.
They
about,
do that.
It's
Buddy
the,
Hall or Ed Hall or Larry Hall or something like that.
Yeah, it's.
Sounds like Murder
I
Island
watched
to
it. It's
me.
really good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's excellent.
Okay, excellent.
Which one of the halls was it?
It is the Hall because he's also in whatever the Manhunter series or was the series about serial killer profiling.
Mindhunters?
Mindhunters.
That was good. The FBI one, right?
Ed Hall's in that one as
Is it
well.
Ed Hall's his name?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just. But anyway, very much worth watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. We got to go to viewer mail because we got to get the hell out of
Oh,
here.
but do we have time for errors and omissions? Because we did have one last week.
All right, fine.
Jimmy. One quick error and omission. Charles Howell of the PGA. It was rumored that he is in the top 8 all-time.
What is he?
Earnings.
What is he?
Not in the top 8. Not in the top 20.
28?
So this is how it is. You can look up PGA's rankings online. However, because the PGA is so mature, they've taken out all the live players, so you can no longer look that up.
No.
So then I had to find out through a
It's
different source
embarrassing.
how much Charles Howell
Embarrassing.
made, which is $40 million in the course of his career in the
pretty
PGA. And then I had to go and plug that back into the existing list where he would rank 22nd. However, if there's any live guys that would be ahead of him, that would
course,
also
and
drop
of
him
course
down.
there
probably.
would.
So he's
But
probably 25th
okay,
or so.
so what did I say? Top 10?
DJ
It's not-
Bro.
No,
it's
you
not-
said top 8.
It's not a ludicrous comment. He's 22nd or whatever. But I think a few guys must have passed him. because-
Ludicrous. Live wins.
All right, fine.
I was watching that Full Swing, and I'm like,
I started watching too.
I'm like, where's Mito? Where's he? What's he on the doing? How's he doing this year on the PGA Tour? Not there. He's over at the Live. He's one of our Live boys.
Him and Joaquin are
I know. I
like
didn't know the Chilean
tight.
mafia went
Yeah.
over. They all sold out. It's great.
Ooh, this show's going to get good.
Well, let's talk about it more the next time when we
will.
when
Never.
we do. Hey, wait, where are you on White Lotus?
I'm only done season 1. But
Oh, you
it's
haven't started
amazing.
season
No,
2. Okay.
Season 1 was amazing.
Okay.
All right. Listener mail.
Listener mail. Listener mail. Thank you for listening.
Some feedback for Bad for Bedard. Andrew Arsenault loving it. Best day of the NHL year. Lewis writing an instant classic. Nick Vella saying, love the song and the video. You're a Tapiainen writing in. It's a great song, but can't help thinking it might now be the internal soundtrack for someone's sexy time.
Oh yeah.
Who's?
So
Yours.
Oh, anybody's. I mean, well, that would make the most sense.
That would be an honor if someone was making love to that song. If
I'll do
any of
that.
our listeners could make love to Bad for Bedard and then
Videotape it.
send us a video.
Yeah. Oh. Now you want to put up
POV.
numbers on TikTok.
POV video.
Yeah, then Puffy will do one of those reaction videos on TikTok where you see his
Where
head
I'm
on the side of
watching
the
your
screen.
video.
Hopefully all we see is his face. Matthew writes in, you're an avid listener of the Rubber Boots when you search for for Bedard on YouTube just to look for Stoff. Thank
Yay,
you.
there you
Appreciate
go.
that.
Worth it.
Ernest Hemingway writes in, assumed Bad for Bedard was going to be a Bad to the Bone parody.
Probably should have been.
And quite a few people thought
for
that
Bedard.
because I saw online on Reddit, someone actually wrote out the lyrics for a Bad to Bedard to Bad to the
Bone?
Bedard. Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
Bad,
look decent.
bad,
All right.
Look decent.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't do that because we would have ripped somebody off.
I know,
and
no
got
kidding.
sued.
There you go.
I love that we did the original thing.
right.
Way back.
That's
Finally
right.
listening to the Rubber Boots pod today and Bad for Bedard, noticed on the still photo that Pierre LeBrun could easily pull off a Luigi from Mario Brothers. He was dressed in all green, so I guess he did have that coming.
Very, very true.
Very perceptive. Sean Morrison mentioned that you and the pod haven't done a song for 10 years after. Okay, so this is the fourth line winger one I mentioned before, the rap.
Right.
A little TradeCentre analysis. Adam Leclerc writes in, say what you will about Air Canada, but I spent the better 4 hours of my flight from Calgary watching Jimmy and the gang on TradeCentre. He also included some pictures of him watching in the back of the person's
beautiful.
seat. So there you go.
Beautiful.
He also wrote, made sure not to forget my Austrian coat in the overhead bin.
Hey.
All my luggage arrived
Yes.
safely.
You ever
Have to
find
see-
that?
Did you ever
yet?
find
They
that?
get to
Yes.
know?
No, I got another memo from yesterday. We still haven't found anything. Yeah, it's because you gave it away to someone.
Is Brooksy,
or one of your cleaning
is
staff
Brooksy
wearing it right
hip
now.
at all to what's going on?
The jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally told her. I had
Oh,
to
is she mad?
Well, she's hurt because it was a sentimental.
But you
thing
told
she
her it
gave
got
me.
stolen, right?
Well, I told her I left it on the plane and then it got stolen.
No, you don't.
No,
Just say it got stolen.
Just right out of your hands. Well, speaking of Brooksy and speaking of you, comes from Taryn, who sends a link to one of those websites, that they try to guess your net worth and all that stuff. It's almost like a fake booking website.
I've read a few. I have, people say they don't Google themselves. I was alerted to these and I have looked at them a couple of times. They're quite funny.
They're quite good.
Everybody has my net worth at $3 million.
No, well, this person, they had it at 4 million, so you're going on up, buddy.
Really?
I'm not going to comment whether it's higher or lower.
Well,
but
so-
it's lower, so could you please send in donations?
So Taryn writes in, love the description of Duthie's marriage and body type. So first, your marriage. James Duthie is married to Brooksy Duthie.
Brooksy
They had their wedding in Canada.
Oh, nice.
The couple lives in a happy life with each other without facing any kinds of problems, tension,
true.
and misunderstandings.
That's
It's a stretch, but pretty true.
His wife is a private person, so there you go.
Very true.
True, except in my videos.
Now, for your body type, they wrote, he stands at an appealing height of 1.83 meters.
What is
Is
that?
that's
5'9"?
5'9"?
Is that 5'9" or 5'10"?
That's 5'9", buddy. These guys are on it. They got your
So
medical
far,
records.
they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And has a good body weight, which suits his personality. So
true.
you can never make it as a fat guy,
Yeah,
buddy.
Jimmy would not be a good fat guy.
made it as a fat guy.
Beautiful. They also commented on your sports career. He was a former touch football standout in the MTTFL, playing for the Doom in the C division.
That is true.
Duthie's career was short.
Hold on a second. You were in the C division in touch football?
Okay, hold on.
Jesus, that's like house league.
This is at the end of my career in Toronto.
Well, hold on. We're getting to that. His career was cut short due to a devastating downfield head-to-head collision.
Wow.
Is that true?
That's 100%
Wow.
true. I got knocked out.
Are you writing this?
No, I didn't, but clearly somebody on the Doom team is writing this.
So someone who's on top of it.
Oh, so this is not like some AI thing, because a lot of these sites are just generated by crap.
Well, it might be just really good AI because they did also have a little nod to the pod. In your little
to the
bio
pod.
section, it said, in 2017, Duthie launched the Rubber Boots podcast, where he discusses
true?
sports and other topics with TSN staffers. Lester McLean,
Was it 2017?
Sean Puffy Cameron, I believe so, and producer Stoff. Now, I only point this out because this website has more updated information than our iTunes page and our TSN bio.
100%. That guy knows more.
Whoever's running it, good job.
What is it? 1.83 or 1.3? 1.8 rather.
So somebody's
1.83.
got to, whoever did this got to write in and tell us they did it. They don't have to identify themselves, write it from a fake account.
You think it's a pod listener?
It's got to be a pod listener.
But it's a website with this
not a
stuff for
pod listener.
everybody.
You never mentioned the Doom or
Yeah, Doom.
Division
Well, it could have been
C.
somebody I played football with or against.
Oh,
Division C.
maybe this website's just reaching out to people for dirt.
It's funny how you latched
Maybe.
onto that.
I would have been hard selling that's a lie.
In my later years in football,
Seriously, is there a Division D? Just tell me there's a
it
Division
goes like
D.
the H.
Okay.
This is Toronto Metro. So a couple of my buddies are playing for a team. This guy Joel Smith, he could be the one who wrote this. He's the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he invites me to play for this team, and in the championship game, I'm running an in pattern, and I went head to head with someone. This is the worst concussion. I was knocked out completely.
Really?
The next thing I know, I was like sitting on the sidelines, and they said that I had been walking around, crawling around the field after the hit, gurgling like on all fours. Like it was
God.
scary as hell.
Wow.
That's scary.
And that was pretty much. I played maybe the next year a little bit, and then I quit.
Is that when you wrote bad for Bedard?
There's no coming back from that.
So that was the worst concussion I ever had. So that's all 100% accurate.
But when you're playing Division C,
Doom
and you quit,
did win the title.
and quit. Does anyone know?
So did that move you guys up to
Definitely not.
Did you guys move up to Division B next year? Or?
They lost you.
It's like a
My
relegate?
first year of touch football in Ottawa, we were in Division E.
Wow.
Is that when you're playing with Mark Ward? He's running the wrong end zone.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff?
was it.
The pieces are starting to fit a lot more.
No kidding.
No wonder you're such a star.
Hey, I think speaking of all this stuff with the Bedard song, I forgot to shout out to one person last week, Jimmy, and that's Stoff right over there.
Right, who
recorded your vocals. Very,
Right.
very crucial.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen without
Thank,
Stoff. so
thank you. You also didn't mention it half an hour ago when we actually talked about the song.
I would say that the
That's okay.
vocals
I'm
in a
missing it
song
now.
are crucial.
Better late than never.
Stick
What?
it in.
We don't have
Stick-
to mention you.
Yeah, stick it in at the end of the pod.
You know what I mean?
You get enough credit. Let's retract it. Edit that out, Stoff.
You're more than
That way
welcome
it's
to
edited.
retract.
Got to edit out his own.
I'm
Edit out your own
I'm going to
kudos.
put it with the rest of the song discussion. It's going to sound seamless.
Is there anything else? Because we got to go.
There is Snack Bites Pete. I'll get two quick things. Snack
You
Bites
do
seem
Pete.
a hockey
like
game
you're
in an
done.
Snack Bites Pete ended up watching Snakes on a Plane. He said it was as good as my read was. He
Nice.
enjoyed the movie more. So there you go.
Pete, thanks for listening. Here, 2087 Robert Book.
All right, we'll finish off with this. McDonald's Canada tweeted at us saying,
Tweeted at us.
yes, the official chicken Big Mac is
Sponsorship.
almost here. Now, they tweeted at us that because I favorited one of their tweets about their chicken Big Mac.
Oh, so now you're getting all the chicken McMac
Yes.
stuff.
But the reason I did that was because it was a story I saw a couple
We're
weeks
looking for
ago
a
that
sponsor.
a person that came up with the recipe for the chicken Big Mac,
Yeah.
which is literally replacing the 2 beef pieces with 2 chicken pieces.
Right.
It's a chef from Canada,
Yeah, yes.
and he worked on this for 2 years.
I know.
And the sandwich is identical.
One pod. Let's next edition. We're off next week. Puffy's going on vacation. So.
Oh, again, Puff.
Next
my-
edition,
Where now?
My
we'll
away
come
time.
up with a new McDonald's product.
okay.
All right, so you can think about it for a week because we're not going to be 2 years. And when we come back,
Only
in 2
for
weeks,
one
we'll
week,
think
and then
about
the second week, just take it easy.
just relax.
You don't want to hurt yourself.
The McDuffie. It's a big sausage.
Whoa.
That shrink,
but
that
it's
shrinks
shrinking.
every year.
All right, good night, everyone.
The McDuffie.
He's the general manager of an NHL team, winning the Stanley Cup, forever his dream. But before you come first here, man, you gotta be last. And he knows a kid who'll turn things around fast. Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. I've seen some good ones, man, but this kid's next level. Like all of the Hughes brothers wrapped in one devil. Players won't take, no, that just ain't their way. But GMs could let all their black aces play. So pick up your phone, call Kyle, call Ken. Trade all your free agents, start over again. Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. You don't need no scouts or analytica. Just watch his goal against Slovakia.
Kept my top score out, can't play too sick. Traded my captain for 3 draft picks. Called up a goalie from the ECHL. Got Bob McKenzie on the cowbell. I do what needs to be done to be the guy who drafts number 1. And if I don't win, man, don't be silly. I'll take Leo the Sweet or Adam Bantilli.
Ping-pong balls are bouncing. 25.5% shot. The ping-pong ball is dropping. Let's see who you got.
Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. I've seen some good ones, man, but this kid's next level. Like all of the Hughes brothers, wrapped in one devil. Be crappy for Connor, Connor, Connor. No point in honor, honor, honor. Be bad for Bedard, be bad for Bedard. Absolutely no shame in losing hard.
Just missing the playoffs is no place to be. So I'm trying to come last, but don't tell Gary.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?